you have a talent, but it's on you to develop and exercise and go get it. It's on you. That's not on mama, that's not on daddy, that's not on a friend, that's not on a homie, that's on you to go get it. So all of you got something inside of you that is just screaming to get out. And it's about time that you bring it out.
My name is J.R. Arthur, aka the Pixel Monkey, and let's get straight into it today. And today what I want to talk to you about is imposter syndrome. It's something that a lot of professionals go through, but creatives deal with this quite often. Typically, when you feel imposter syndrome the most is usually after you've gotten a job that you haven't worked before or you've gotten a promotion. So it's something that I've gone through many times in my career, and it's based on performance a lot of times for us.
All right. We're gonna learn today.
If you're not performing the way that you think you should, or if something's going wrong, or you're not making the money that you're thinking that you should make, you feel like you're in somebody else's role. You feel like you don't belong in that spot and somebody else can do it better than you. Well, I'm going to tell you, there is somebody that can do it better than you. There's always somebody that's more qualified, more efficient, or just can do the job better than you can. But the reason why you're in the job is because somebody thought that you would be the best fit for that particular situation and job at that moment. So by you feeling like an imposter, it ultimately means you're disqualifying yourself for whatever reason. It's not necessarily the people around us who make us feel like we don't belong. But I'm not saying that that can't happen either, because there's times when the people around you make you feel like that by simply not supporting you, or you feel like they don't support you. They don't necessarily care about the things that you're doing. They make things that you're doing harder on you, or it's just, you're just not getting the response that you were looking for. But that's oftentimes an us thing. It's how we look at it, because nobody should be able to steal that from you just because they're not giving you everything that you're looking for. You're not always going to get the response that you feel you should get. Sometimes it's just going to be you show people work and they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Not everybody's going to be invested in what you're doing. But when you start to feel like you're not invested in what you're doing, then imposter syndrome is going to kick in on you, and you're going to feel like you don't belong. You're often going to feel like you don't belong when you start to make mistakes. It'll make your anxiety run high, or you'll get stressed out, or you get frustrated. You'll find yourself getting angry at things that never used to bother you, or you didn't even think would bother you. But it's because you're having a hard time wrapping your head around what you're doing. There are some things you can do to help with feeling like an imposter in the position you're in. One of them is have a conversation with your higher ups or whoever hired you and ask them what their expectations of you are. Because you may already not only meet their expectations, but you may exceed their expectations. And it's just you putting pressure on yourself. The other thing you can do is tell them what your expectations are of the position and of the company and of the people that you need to get training from. Let them know how you feel. It's not always us waiting for people to tell us what we need to do or how we should feel about a situation. Sometimes you have to bring it to them. Being frustrated, being angry, having anxiety, things like that, we bring those into the situations and then they make them harder. It makes it harder for us to communicate with people. And if you're not communicating, you're ultimately just wasting your own time, because when they feel like you're wasting their time, they'll just let you go, or they'll move on. Or you get like written up for something, which is not good either. But that may be the kick in the butt that you need to get moving. Don't worry about so much what you can't do. Do the parts that you can do. Don't worry about so much what you can't do. Do the parts that you can do. Because this is something that I know too. You can't know what you don't know. If you don't know to do something this way, you can't just expect to automatically do it. But that's why you lean on your higher ups. You lean on your team members. You lean on other forms of educating yourself on the position, because those things will help to formulate questions and give you answers. But you don't know to ask stuff until you know. You don't know how to do it until you know. That's what training is for. And if you're at a place that won't supply you with the training or won't supply you with the tools to just go off and train yourself or learn on your own, then maybe you're just not at the right place. Or you haven't presented to them that that's what you need, because everybody has a different way of learning. I will say this, like, I'm an art director training now to be a creative director. One of the ways where I feel like imposter syndrome kicks in for me from time to time is when I take on a new task that I've never done. Because where I'm at now, the things that were typically easy for me are not as easy. But it's not because it's the same work, just doing it different. It's now I have to think about things different. Like something that was presented to me is, yes, you've mastered the work, but can you teach it? And something I do quite often is when people ask me how to do stuff, it's very hard for me to just let them do it when I can just hurry up and do it. But part of moving up in positions and feeling like you can do those things is being able to let some things go so that you can learn new things. But if you're not open to that, then yes, you're going to feel like an imposter in the situation. You're going to feel like you don't belong. You're going to feel like it's something you can't do. But it's also because you're blocking yourself. You're not allowing yourself to grow. And this is what should help you with feeling like an imposter and dealing with imposter syndrome is, remember, they hired you. Somebody chose you to do the job. Somebody thought you had something in you that can take you into that position. So right now, it's only us saying that we can't. But why would they put you there if they felt like you can't? Most jobs are not putting you in a position to fail. They read enough resumes. They look through enough reels. They see what other people have to offer. So if they picked you over everybody else, then you belong there. But this is something that we have to come to grips with as professionals, not just creatives, as professionals. And that's just because you want it doesn't mean that it's right for you. You can want to be something more than what you are, but it doesn't mean that that's the thing that you're going to love. That's the thing that's going to make you happy. That's the thing that you're good at. That's the thing that you even want to train to be better at. But sometimes you won't know that until you try it and then realize, oh, well, I didn't want to go that way. I wanted to go this way. So you'll try something different. So that doesn't make you an imposter. That just means you tried something that didn't work. Or you tried something that you don't like. But you can't know those things until you enter into it. So what am I ultimately telling you? You can have the feeling of not belonging. You can have the feeling like you're not good enough. You can have the feeling like this just isn't working out. That's us feeling that way based on something that we have going on. Figure out what it is that's bothering you, because it could be something that you can fix easy. And like I said, an easy fix, go to your bosses and ask, what are your expectations of me? Go to the client, what are your expectations of me? And don't be afraid to tell them what your expectations are. It'll clear the board. And it ultimately lets you know what you can do, what you can't do, and what you're willing to do to get better. You are good enough. Tell yourself that. Sometimes just take time to look in the mirror and tell yourself you're good enough. You can do it. Today may be a hard day, but it's just today. But you are not an imposter. You are just learning to be a better version of you. Now that we've gotten through that, I need you to like this video and subscribe to my channel, Creatively Speaking. Stay creative, stay mentally clear, and remember, you got it.
Sooner or later, it's something that's inside of you just has to want it. You have to need it. You gotta go at it like it's that next breath that you gotta take, that nobody can stop you. And the closer you get to it, you're gonna have naysayers, you're gonna have doubters, you're gonna have people that's close to you, that even in the crib with your lamb beside of you that don't believe in you. I know I stepped on somebody's toes right there, but it's okay. That's what I came here to do. But it's up to you.